Welcome everyone. My name is Olia. I lead developer experience at Rootstock Labs. Rootstock is the first and longest running Bitcoin sidechain. What makes Rootstock special that it is fully EVM compatible. So developers can write smart contract in Solidity and use an extensive EVM compatible developer toolchain. We've created this particular series to walk you through a variety of different integrations and tools to make sure that you are fully equipped for building on Bitcoin with Rootstock. Today, we have an engineer from the Rootstock Labs developer experience team, Chris, who will be telling us all about Rootstock CLI, which is a very handy tool that was built internally at Rootstock Labs. So, very welcome, Chris. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, Ola. Thank you so much. If it's okay for you, I'm going to start sharing. And also, I have a slide for my presentation so I can tell you a bit more about what's going on in this webinar. Okay, so this webinar for Rootstock is going to be led by me. I'm Christian. As I said, I'm a software engineer at the DevX team in Rootstock. Here you can find a bit more about my LinkedIn and, well, like social stuff. I've been working as a software engineer for more than a year. I specialize in the UX process and integration with smart contracts and the front end, the client. What is it and why we created a CLI tool for the Rootstock blockchain? So the Rootstock CLI tool is a command line interface tool for interacting with the Rootstock blockchain. Like we're gonna see all of the features, but it offers a wide range of features like wallet management, transactions, smart contracts, and a lot more. Why we created it? Like because it offers an easy to use interface, like compared to just doing like raw RPC calls, and like simplifies a lot of common blockchain tasks. Like for example, here you can do the same as in the Explorer, like interacting with verified smart contracts, but it offers also a lot more of benefit, like features, like checking transaction status. Like we're gonna dive more into it. Like also, it provides a safe and efficient way of managing wallets while doing all of these, like features and all the possibilities you can do here. It has a really good wallet management system that makes it a lot easier. So these are all the features the CLI covers. So wallet management, check the balance of any token in the Rootstock ecosystem, transfer RBTC, check the transaction status and the transaction history, deploy a smart contract, verify a smart contract, interact with a verified smart contract, and support for interacting with the Rootstock Bridge contract. So yeah, these are all of the main features that the CLI like offers. So we're gonna dive more into it. So this is the QR for the npm page with the RSK CLI tool. So here you're gonna find all the documentation. It's a global npm package. So this is the command for installing it. You can copy this and paste it in your terminal, but I already have it installed. So you can proceed and install it, and we're gonna dive right now into it. So the first thing we're gonna be looking at is the wallet management. Like I've already talked about the wallet management in this CLI tool. So I'm gonna show you what it offers for making it easier deploying smart contracts or verifying them, sending a transaction via the CLI. We're gonna start by doing RSK CLI, and the command for checking all of the options I told you before is -h or --help. So here you're gonna find all of the available comments in the CLI. So one thing I like to do is having here the README section, because it has all of the documentation that we're gonna be looking at. Here we can do things like create a new Ethereum compatible wallet, import an existing wallet, list all saved wallets that you have in your CLI like ecosystem, like environment, switch between saved wallets, update a wallet's name, and delete a saved wallet. In here, we can look at all of these options if we do like RSK CLI wallet. So these are all the options that I have available now. Right now, I have here rootstock wallet JSON. I'm gonna delete it. This is the file where all the information about the wallets are gonna be like saved and in an encrypted way. But I'm gonna delete it, so we do it as it's the first time. So here I'm gonna run it again. So RSK wallet, I don't have already like a wallet file. So I'm gonna start by creating a new wallet. The first question that it's gonna ask me is a password to encrypt your wallet. So this is very, very important because the password you set to, it's gonna be one password per every wallet. This password is gonna be the encrypting factor. You gotta be really careful how you manage your passwords here, because if you really forget like your password, you're not gonna be able to send transactions using this wallet saved right here, because it is always gonna ask you for this password in order to complete, like, send the transaction. So be careful while setting these passwords in here. So I'm gonna set like an easy password just for the test purpose. Also, we're gonna have an ID, an identifier for every wallet. So I'm gonna call it like first wallet. And now I have here like some special, like, important details. This is gonna be the address of the created wallet. And okay, this is the first command, the creation of the wallet. So how do I see all of my wallets? I'm gonna skip this one like for a moment and show you the list save wallets option. So here I'm gonna check where are all of my wallets. So here this here says I have my wallet that's called first. This is my address, and it tells me which is the current wallet that I'm using. So how the CLI works is that it's like really similar to MetaMask. Like in here, you can have a lot of accounts, but you can choose between them, like switch between them. You will have always one like active account, like the default account. Right here is this one. You can see like the blue background. So in the CLI, it's gonna be really similar. Right now, the active one is the first, but as soon as I create more and more wallets, you're gonna see like like which is the active one, which are all of the options, and how to switch between them. So in order to try the second command, we're gonna do import existing wallet. So import existing wallet like option is gonna ask me for my private key. Okay, so I already set my like private key. As you saw before, it's gonna ask me for a name, so this is gonna be like the imported one. And it's gonna ask me also for the password, so I'm gonna set another path. I don't know how are you gonna manage your passwords, but be really careful. If you have many passwords, you may forget them. But I'm gonna set just this one. And oh, this wallet was sent as current. I don't know, like it should ask you to set it as a new wallet, but maybe I pressed my key by mistake. So I'm gonna show you how would it look when you have already an account. So I'm gonna do like this for test, and it's gonna ask you, would you like to set this as the current wallet? So you say yes or no, but this time I'm gonna say no. And we can check all of the available options again here. Here in the list save wallets. So I have the first one. This is the address. I have the imported one. This is the address, and I created the test one, and is this one. So as you can see, the current wallet is the imported one. So okay, that's how you can manage like many wallets. We're gonna see the next one, really important, is the switch wallet. So you can press switch. It's gonna like list all of the options that are not the current one. So you have these two. I can set to test, and right now if I check again, this is the current wallet now is test. So yeah, that's basically it. I'm gonna switch to the imported one because we're gonna use it later. And okay, what are the other options? We have update a wallet name. So in case if you wanna like update any name, you can do like instead of test, like development. And now you can check it in the list save wallets option. It's gonna call dev. It's gonna be called dev. And we have two options left. One is the backup wallet data. So as I told you before, the file in which all of this information is gonna be saved is this one, the rootstock wallet .json. So you're gonna have the information about the first one, the imported, and the developer one. So if by any chance you want to do like a backup of this information, you can do it through this command. So you can choose this option. Is gonna ask you for the path in which you wanna save it. So I'm gonna say like backup. It's gonna be a file called backup.json. So in here, I will have this backup.json. And yeah, there you can find all of the information like that was in the previous file saved there. And the last option is delete a wallet. So right now I'm gonna delete this dev. I'm not gonna use it now. And here is like a confirmation. You say like, yes, I want to delete it. And that's it. This is basically all of the wallet management. There's one missing detail that I'm going to show you later, but it's that we have a dynamic wallet selection like system. So the next feature we're going to be covering is the check balance of any token. So let's go
Chris,
right
can I just
into
ask
it.
you?
So the password is not stored at all. It's just like the factor in which the private key is gonna be decrypted. So if you forget it, no one can like remind you of your password because we're not storing it. But you can like use the wallet saved in the CLI only if you know the password. If you don't know the password, you should like delete it and import it again, but the password is not stored anywhere. As I told you, I like doing it via the README to check the documentation. So the balance command allows you to check the balance of any token. We have two ways of calling it, one for mainnet and one for testnet. Right now, we're gonna do everything on testnet. So the difference is adding this flag, like it can be dash dash testnet or only dash t. And let's see how it works. So no, I don't want to do this. So let's do balance T. So here, these are the main tokens in the Rootstock ecosystem, so you can check them easily. Or if you want to check the balance of a custom token, we're gonna see that after we check the main token. So in here, you can see your RBTC, like TRBTC balance, also the tariff and stuff. Like I have for this one, I have 0.036 RBTC, I have 99 tariff. And if I wanted to check one random custom token, we're gonna go to the Explorer really quick. I'm gonna look for one specific contract just for the recording purposes, but I'm not sure why it's not working with this one.
That's right.
So I should look into a ERC20 contract. No. You know why it wasn't working? Because this is mainnet. So we're trying it on testnet, so of course it's not gonna find it. The CLI is working fine. It was my bad. Okay, I'm sorry. So we'll continue. So the way in which we're gonna try the balance command is like this: RSK CLI balance dash T for testnet. So we're gonna select the custom token. We paste the custom token address, and now we have it. It's called MOG USDC coin. And here we have that my balance is 0 MOG USD. Okay, yeah, that's basically how the balance works. Of course, you can check the main tokens in Rootstock. And yeah, that's basically how it works. We're gonna continue for the next feature. The next feature is transfer RBTC. So the same thing. We go for the documentation. And yeah, this command allows you to transfer RBTC or TRBTC from any of your wallets to any other wallet. So the syntaxes is like this: RSK CLI transfer the address which like you want to send it to, and the value. This is how you can call it, and the testnet flag for transfer. We're gonna send it. I think we can do like this flag. We're gonna send it to this account, and the value is gonna be 0.0001. And let's see. It's not. The thing is, parentheses. I need to update this in the CLI because it doesn't let me use the dash p, and we can. This is not gonna work because it doesn't have the testnet flag. So transfer on testnet to this address, and the value is 0.0001. So in here, as I told you before, CLI is going to ask you for my password. Let's see, it says my wallet is the one ending in 78C to 8FA, this value, and my current balance. So I'm gonna set it, enter. While this confirms, we're gonna check how the like the expected the output example is gonna be. Yeah, this is the TX hash for the transaction. Well, if it works, we're gonna see like transaction confirmed successfully, the block number, the gas that was used, and also the transaction in the Explorer, so you can check it. So this is it. Block number, gas used, and let's see if the transaction indeed went well. So here we have it. We transfer 0.10001 RBTC. So in here, we already did like transferring the tokens from a wallet to another one. We sent tokens to import it to this wallet. And now we have, in the command, we have RSK CLI transfer testnet for the address, the same address, the same value. But you can also specify which wallet do you want to use. So if we remove this, this is gonna be like the default one. But if you add this flag and the name of the wallet that you wanna use, it's called first. The other wallet available now, it's gonna try to send it. This transaction shouldn't work because first has no available TRBTC, but let's see what happens. Like we have here the wallet address that it's called. Let me check this one. So you can see first is it's ended in CO2. The recipient address is this one, the transfer value, the current balance, and it says insufficient balance to transfer, So you can use this flag. In the documentation is also present where you can use it. So yeah, that's how you can use this flag. And okay, we should continue with the next feature. The next feature is transaction status and transaction history. So how does this work? Let's see in the documentation. So the transaction status lets you check what's the status of any transaction. You just have to use the tx command and specify which is the tx ID you want to check. So let's copy, for example, this transaction, and let's do RSK CLI transaction tx ID, and you have to specify also the dash testnet or dash t, because if not, the transaction is gonna be, that's not gonna work because the transaction is not a mainnet. So here we have it, the status for this transaction on testnet. It's that the block hash is this one. This is the block number. It was a successful transaction. This was the gas that was used, and from where to where it was sent. So that's how the transaction status command works. And we also have the transaction history command. So let's check it on the documentation. I think it's over here. Yeah, this README has to be like updated. This is the README that is already updated. So here we can check that the fetch wallet history command. In here we can do like checking the history of any of your saved wallets. So before we can call this RSK CLI history command, we need an API key from Alchemy. So we're gonna jump straight into it and try to call this. Let's see what happens if I do like transaction history on maybe testnet. It will ask me for my Alchemy API key. So let's go to Alchemy dashboard. And we do login. I'm gonna log in with Google. We're gonna need an Alchemy API key for testing the history command. So what we're gonna do is wanna create a new app. We're gonna call it like CLI test. We didn't like specify a description, and I'm going to do like DeFi. Let's see something. I think I don't need to create like API. This is the API key over here. You can like copy it, and this is the way in which you call specified in the command. So you just have to set it once, and then like you don't have to set it again, because this key is gonna be saved in the same file, the same root wallet file. So it's gonna be added as one more like attribute. So we're gonna do RSK CLI history testnet API key is this one. And this number flag, it's referring to how many transactions do you want to fetch. Yeah, like how many transactions. Like you can get the last two. I have the last two. But if you don't set it, I think it brings you the last 10. So here it says it's a transfer from where to where. This is my transaction history. But you can use the number flag in order to specify the number of transactions you want to fetch. So yeah, that's how the transaction history command works. So the deploy smart contract is quite like a structure, and we need some parameters in order to deploy a contract. So the structure of the command is the following: RSK CLI deploy dash dash testnet. You have to. My recommendation will be to have all of these files in the path that you're trying to deploy the contract. For example, here in the CLI folder, and inside the CLI folder, I have this folder called files. And inside files, I have all of the files that I'm going to be using. So that will be my recommendation. It's really easy to handle it like in that way. So we're going to need the contract ABI. You can get it when you compile the contract. Any way you compile it, you can get it, as well as the bytecode. And also, if your contract needs arguments in order to be deployed, you can specify the arguments separated by blank spaces. So we're gonna look how does this works. So the contract that we're gonna be deploying is this one. It's called token. It's an ERC20 token. You just have to specify one argument, that's the initial owner, and it's gonna be CLI test, and the symbol is gonna be root. So let's see how this works. So we're gonna do RSK CLI deploy. We specified that we're doing it on testnet. We need to specify the ABI path. The ABI path is file slash ABI.json. The ABI looks something like this, like an ABI. And ABI.json. And also specify the bytecode. So the bytecode is this one. And it's called like the path files bin And also, as you saw, the argument that the contract requires is the initial owner, that it's like an address basically. So I'm gonna check if it's args, and the argument that we're gonna pass it is right now whatever address. But remember, please keep in mind the address that you're gonna like pass right here, because this is the address that we'll need in order to verify this contract. Right now, this one is gonna be ending in 8FA. So let's send it. Here I need my password. Set your password. Type your password, I'm sorry. The wallet account was the one ending in 78C. These are the files, or the file paths. The transaction was sent. This is the transaction hash. So we're gonna see in the Explorer what is happening with this transaction. So it's on pending status. The transaction was sent. And here we'll need to wait for the response time, like until the contract is fully created. Okay, so now we have it. The contract, like the deployed contract address is this one. We're gonna look for it in the Explorer. Here I have the link, but I'm gonna do it this way. So here we have, it's called CLI test. The symbol is root. And well, as you saw, all the parameters that we set in the contract. And the initial owner here doesn't say, but the initial owner is the address we set before. So this is the way in which you can deploy a smart contract from the CLI. And it's related to the next feature that we're gonna look. It's a smart contract verification. And here we have all the documentation. You have the syntaxes for when you have arguments and when you don't. And also when you have arguments and you don't in a testnet contract. The way to verify the contract is this one. I'm gonna copy this one because we have arguments and we're on testnet. So it's basically this. So let's dive into it. This is RSK verify on testnet. We have to specify a flag called JSON, and we have specified the file path for this JSON. What is this JSON like? This JSON that we're referring to is the JSON standard input. Like when you compile a contract, you get like a compilation file, like a build file. And in this build file is always called this way, like it's a hash ended in dot, like a JSON with the name of a hash, and the structure is basically this one. You have the ID of the build, the version it was used, and the inputs. So this is the file that we will need in order to verify the contract. Yeah, you gotta have that file ready. I already have it here in my files folder. So this is the JSON file that we're gonna specify. The address is the address of the deployer. So in this case is mine, like the imported one. We're gonna look after it, and the name of the contract. So we have it over here too. It's called token. And yeah, so let's replace these values in order to, so we can call this comment. So the JSON file is in the files folder, and it's called 43, and we use the autocomplete. So the address of the deployer, it's gonna be the address of my current wallet that's imported, and is this one. The name of the contract, so the contract name is token, and the decoded args, dash decoded args. We only have one argument. In this case is, you remember this address over here? So we just put the address in here. So let's do a quick recap. RSK CLI verify testnet the JSON file with the file path. So if we go to the Explorer and we refresh, we're gonna see that we already have the contract deployed, and you can do the contract interaction. But that's a feature we also have available in our CLI, and also I think it's the next feature. It's called smart contract interaction. We're gonna look into the documentation over here. The documentation basically says you have to call the contract command and specify the address of the deploy contract. It has to be verified in order to interact with the contract. We're gonna look that after this, and also specify testnet because ours is on testnet. So RSK CLI contract testnet, and the address is this one, this one. So let's see what happens. So first it checks if the contract is verified. It was indeed verified, and here we have all of the functions. So right now we're gonna do, in this feature we only can call the read functions from a contract. So here all of the read functions from the contract are listed. So we're gonna call name, and it should return the name of the token. And we can also do symbol to check which is the symbol of the token. I think it's over here. We can also do, let me erase this. We can do balance of. So which is the balance of this token for, I don't know, this address? It's 0. So yeah, this is the way in which you can interact with the read functions of a verified smart contract. And yeah, that's the contract interaction feature. The next and last feature that we have available in the CLI is the Rootstock Bridge support, like interaction support for the Rootstock Bridge. So it's quite like straight, like you just do RSK CLI bridge and also specify the network to like interact with the functions from the Rootstock CLI bridge. So right now I'm going to call it like, and let's see what happens. So in this contract we can do both type of functions. One are the reads and one are the writes. We're gonna check on the read, so we can call any function from the Rootstock Bridge contract. So let's get this one, enter a value in. So in here we have the result. What the function returns is this, and also we can call a write function. So let's do receive header. And in order to call the function, we have to specify the password of our wallet. So it's like this, and the result is -20. In order to like be able to properly like understand what's happening, you should like refer to the Rootstock Bridge and check what are the like the function, what do they work like I'm sorry, what do they do, and how, where you should like use them. So that's basically all about the CLI features. It's been really an interesting project to work in. And right now, one last thing I would like to talk to you about is the Hacktivator program. The CLI tool was like the first project that we like promoted in order to use the Hacktivator program, because right now we already have some contributions from like builders we met like in hackathons and in conferences. So some of these contributors did like their PRs on the CLI GitHub, and some of them were already merged. You can find a lot of more information about this Hacktivator program. You can find like rewards for contributing in any project in the Rootstock network, like ecosystem. And yeah, that's basically it, like to encourage you to participate. Maybe you can get a reward, and also like the gratification of contributing in open source projects. Yeah, thank you so much for being here, and I hope you like.
Thanks so much, Chris, for walking us through that. That was brilliant. Loved it. Just for a little context, Hacktorator program is a community program that Rootstock Labs is supporting, where you can contribute either educational content or you can contribute code. And that's what Chris just mentioned. So if you have any ideas for any new features you would like to submit a PR on GitHub through the Hacktorator program, you can get rewards in Reef for doing that. So as Chris mentioned, there's more information in the docs. Chris, just one more question, because that was actually a thing that I wanted to ask you, and you've answered that before I did that. But one last question. If somebody wanted to follow more sort of like in a tutorial form, or did what you just did today without your slides, where is the best place to go? Is README the best kind of walkthrough tutorial sort of format for somebody to get started?
Yeah, I would say like we really work hard on making the README as clear as possible and have you like edge cases and output examples. So I would say the README is the main guide in order you like to follow all of the CLI features like correctly, and if you have any doubts. But also you can like go to any of like our contact points like Discord. You also have my like LinkedIn contact. Like if you have any question, please let us know via GitHub, via Discord, via like any via you can find. We'll be like really always really active like on helping on that.
Nice one, great. Actually, maybe a little, do you have any ideas you could suggest for the community? Do you have a wish list of the features we'd like to see, or anything that's been discussed for the team to build? Any
Okay,
pointers?
so in the wallet management, there are always things that can be improved. So maybe I would suggest like to imagine something that you can upgrade in for example, I'm giving you one example of how one of them went through. So the backup wallet file, like the wallet backup feature was actually one contribution from the contributors program. So that's one way you can look at like the wallet section will be like a great point when you can offer a lot more options. Another feature that was introduced like from a contributor was the history comment that was completely from a contributor. Like he added the API from Alchemy like management like feature. He added all of it. So I will give you these examples in how you can like propose new things. Also, I would say if you're thinking on proposing, like one thing we had with most of the contributors is think about the final user and how easy it is to like interact with the feature you could be proposing, because sometimes some features they're proposing like valuable ideas, but the CLI sometimes can be an environment that doesn't allow that much things. Like comparing it to a website, you can do a lot of things in the website. The CLI is more like a line when you can write things, and sometimes it can be harder to propose like really structured like contributions. So really think about in the final user, like the developers that are using it, and rethink if your contribution is actually really easy to use or makes all of the process actually more difficult. So keep those things in mind, and yep, I would say that.
Thank you. Yeah, very good ideas there. All right. Once again, thanks so much for joining us today, Chris. Really enjoyed it. An amazing detailed walkthrough. I encourage you to try it out. Very easy to get started, as we've just seen. So if you haven't built anything with Rootstock yet, perhaps that could be the best way to start. Thanks for watching. Do join our community on Discord. As Chris mentioned, say hello. And as usual, happy building. See you soon.
Bye bye. Thank
Cheers.
you.